Hello, friends.
Hey, Vishal.
Mambo. As they say in Swahili, Mambo.
Mambo.
Mambo number 5.
Yes. How are you? Habari yako? Habari yako. I am happy to see you. Nina furahi huo kuna. So the dialect goes like this. So I love you. This I actually learned much faster. It is simpler. Nakupenda. So the dialect matters when you are in Africa. So yes, today I am going to take you to a beautiful and magnificent journey of Africa. We will decode the mystery of Africa. So here is the flow. It is about A, B, C, and D. I'll be telling A, B, C, D of Africa. A is Africa, B is Bajaj, C is China, and D is doing business in Africa. So let's proceed and decode this mystery called Africa.
B also
Here,
for Bajaj and
you
Bharat.
can see the. Pardon me?
B also for Bajaj and
Yeah.
Bharat.
Yes. Bharat also, yes. Bharat in Africa, yes.
Yeah.
The contrast, if you can see here, Africa has a lot of contrasts. I'm not pointing towards racism, but yes, unfortunately, there have been a lot of contrasts in Africa. On the left-hand side, you can see the dynamic leaders like Julius Nyerere, Nelson Mandela, Jomo Kenyatta, who have actually helped Africa taking out from the clutches of colonial rule. And on the right side, these are the barbaric dictators which have left no stone unturned to kill the humanity and to actually rob Africa through every means. Here is another contrast. On left side, you have abject poverty. You have abject necessities not met in terms of the basic amenities like water, food grain, education, modes of transport, and you can see aspirations of Africa never die. How people aspire, even though they do not get any kind of breathe to for all these sufferings they are into. On right side, yes, you can see the skylines. So this is the same Africa which I was talking about, and almost every country in Africa has this kind of skyline. My next slide will tell you what this means. This is the skyline of Angola, this is the skyline of Nigeria, this is the skyline of Tanzania, Ghana, and you can see Kenya. If we move forward, this is what I was talking about. I was talking about the contrast. And here I would like to take you to Gini coefficient. This Gini coefficient is the measure of inequality in the world. If you can see, the Gini coefficient of 0 means everybody has equal amount of wealth in a nation. And if you're talking about a Gini coefficient of 1, it means that one person holds all the wealth of that country. So higher the Gini coefficient, the riskier and unequal that country is. And Africa, if you can see, it's on the darker side. And obviously Mexico, Colombia, even South America, you have Brazil, those are also on the darker side. And you can see India is at 0.33, and African countries, many countries are like 0.65, 0.6, 0.4. So that is what Africa is. And now why Africa has become like this? And what is this bird called Africa? My next slide will show you. Let me take you to the ancient Africa. Africa obviously is a dark continent of human path. It is believed that
Vishal, your voice is breaking, and I think the slide is also showing too much on my screen.
Who is this, please?
This is Ashish here.
Yes, tell me.
Your voice was breaking a bit, and in the slide,
Okay.
whatever you projected, somehow it's in my iPad, it's like too much zoom or whatever, so I am not able to see the whole slide.
So is
I think
everybody
the
facing the same problem?
slide issue is on your side, but the voice is breaking up.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Continue, Vishal.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if you face any problem, just ping me up, right? You can stop anytime and tell that it's not coming. Okay. Just try once again, because here, I mean, I don't know what I have to do to make it right.
Voice is breaking for me too, actually. So yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else
I
is.
see. Okay. Let me just open the door. Possibly the internet connection might be slow. Just a minute. Give me a break.
Sure.
Yeah. Or shall I put the earphones?
No, I think your voice is we're fine. It's breaking in the sense of the signal, I think.
For a minute.
Slide is fine. Slide is fine.
For me, your voice is okay, Vishal.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It is okay now.
Yeah, yeah. Can continue, please.
Okay. If you want, I'll put this microphone as well, possibly. Prevent some distractions.
No, I think it's clear. Yeah, if it's yeah.
The origin of human being on Earth, Homo sapiens, was in Africa. It is Ethiopia. And second, yes, Africa boasts of Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was a person in the 14th century. He was the ever richest person lived on Earth. It is believed. So he was the person who actually carried gold from West Africa, there's Mali, to all the way to Saudi Arabia. And yes, Africa has a lot of tribes. I'm talking about the ancient Africa, that there were 10,000 tribes. Because the ecosystem was so small, everything was available in a vicinity, because what person needs is food, the basic necessity, and the water. Yes, Africa is blessed with Nile. Africa is blessed with very fertile soil, where you put seeds and you can see sprouting. So obviously the small villages have their own ecosystem, which was sufficient for them, and they were living in peace. Yes, talking about flora and fauna, Africa has one of the richest flora and fauna. You have trees which you've never seen possibly, which I'm going to show you today. And the fauna, yes, you have never seen those animals which are available, which are present in Africa. I was talking about Nile. Yes, you know, it's a gift to Africa, as you can see in the next slide, that how Nile has shaped Africa from passing from 10 all the civilizations are situated or established on the bank of Nile. So then moved ahead to 18th century and 19th century, when the Berlin Conference happened, and so many nations, European nations, decided that let us divide Africa. They, by themselves, in a conference, said that Africa is very rich in minerals and other things. Let us actually exploit Africa. Gold, diamond, ivory, slaves. The story was very gory, but yes, soon they captured Africa. They divided among themselves without taking any permission from those people who were living in tribal culture happily. Then came the faking the death. After some pressures from US and after World War, when they were exhausted in the war, they faked the death of colonialism. I'll talk about it, how they faked the death of colonialism. But yes, coming today, what Africa is today, you will be amazed to know 30% of the world's mining or minerals are available in Africa. 16% of world population. Yes, it is a big opportunity. 1.2 billion people living in this continent, and the current state of affairs, as I have already shown, is very, very poor. Because Gini coefficient is high, possibly when you visit the capital cities of Africa continent, yes, you feel that you are in Europe in some of the countries, like South Africa, like Ghana, like Kenya, because these colonies were controlled by British. So my next slide, I will discuss more on this. This is the picture on the first slide. Can anyone tell what is this on the top left corner? What do you see?
Oh, that's Masai Mara, wildebeest.
Absolutely, Venkatesh. It is called the Great Migration, where 2 million animals move from Serengeti of Tanzania to Masai Mara of Kenya every year. And people come here to watch this spectacular migration. It is called the Great Migration. Can somebody tell what is the second image where there is a plate in a woman's mouth? What does it denote? Why is this kind of a plate? Okay, this
I'm
plate
guessing that
is
jewelry.
Pardon me?
Some sort of jewelry or.
Okay. Let me tell you. I mean, these plates are put when the children grew after the age of 15, and these clay plates are put to disfigure themselves so that they don't come under the clutches of slavery. To escape from slavery, they disfigure themselves. So that is why they put these plates. So that is the kind of gory, that is the kind of heinous acts they undergo, and it's very difficult for those people, you can imagine. And the third picture is Renaissance. Yes, after the freedom, actually, it's in. I'll tell you first of the map of Africa, so you will know actually what Africa, which countries are situated where. So this is Senegal. After the independence, they have actually celebrated and put this monument. The top right is Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro is one of the highest mountain in Africa, that is in Tanzania, and the height is around 19 to 19,000 feet. And on the side, you can see Nile River. And I was talking about most of the establishments or most of the civilizations situated near the Nile. So you can see the more lighting actually towards this. And this shows the prosperity which Nile has brought to Africa. I was talking about the trees. These are baobab trees. These are baobab trees. These trees are available or present in Madagascar, which is an island country on the south of African continent. I was talking about colonialism, 1884, German conference in Germany. And you can see how these people have mercilessly destroyed the whole continent and captured them completely. And you can see the powerful, the bigger and the better territory. If you can see the southern part, which is South Africa, which is like Europe, which is quite well developed and famous for gold, diamond, Britain has taken. Kenya, Britain has taken. Egypt, which is very, very strategic for the Suez Canal route, so that people can move, Britain can move from Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean and have trade and links with India. And this route was very, very frequently used during by East India Company in India, by transferring of goods they looted from India and took to Britain. So that was the thing they have done to this. On the left side, yes, you have French. So French have not treated actually Africa better. So French has looted, though Britain actually has developed the infrastructure in whatever countries they were present. You can see Nigeria, you can see Ivory Coast, you can see Sierra Leone, which is for diamonds. So all the wealth, actually main countries, Britain has taken, and the countries which are left behind, French has taken, and the countries in the center, you can see it is Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, which is taken by Belgium, which is famous for diamonds. So that is how actually they have distributed the wealth of Africa and thought that they are the masters of this. And left Africa. That is how they faked. So I've written fake. After the independence from 1950 to 1965, almost every country. And that is how they have done. What they have done is when they left Africa, these people have left some kind of loophole in every country. Loophole means like British left India, they left a loophole called Kashmir. They left a loophole called boundary finalization with Nepal. So such kind of loopholes they deliberately left so that these people started fighting. Plus whatever colonization they have done on the basis of mineral wealth. They have not considered the tribal differences because those tribes are very, very unique and very, very inclusive. They don't want to mingle with other tribes. So these people have combined the area based on the mineral wealth available. So there were a lot of infightings which have happened once these European colonial powers left Africa. So you can see that how they played a role in actually this kind of a poverty. And those people who are presidents of Africa, corrupt presidents of Africa, they have been educated in France, they have been educated in Germany, they have been educated in Britain, so that their education system has taught that how to actually create differences in their own country and continue to rule as a dictator. Going to the next slide. This is what I was talking about. Africa is this. Can you imagine any country in the world or any continent in the world filled up totally stuffed with the resources where every country will vie in the world to actually have a glimpse of these resources. You have uranium, cotton, iron. I have written that 90% of the world platinum, cobalt, gold supply, manganese, uranium. So of the total oil production comes from Africa. World production, that is Nigeria and Angola. So they are OPEC members. And you have blood diamonds in Sierra Leone. So they have deliberately made blood diamonds. So the diamond supply is banned from Sierra Leone, and it goes directly to the hands of the people who need it without legal means. And still those diamonds are being exported from Sierra Leone. This is the size of Africa. We're talking about a mammoth opportunity here. You have one full China coming here. You have one full US coming here. India, yes, comes in a very small space, though we know how big is India. So this slide is to show you actually the amount of opportunity which is available. When you have a place which is so much filled up, stuffed with mineral resources and such a big area, you can imagine what the opportunity is. Now, why nobody else can take this opportunity? The question was, why China or India or any other country, Russia, should not look at it? Yes, they had a first mover advantage. Dragon entered in Africa in 2001, and he tried the second scramble. I told about the first scramble of European colonial powers, and now this is the second scramble which China is planning. What this scramble is, yes, trade with China. You can see how trade is increasing, and China has given loans to African countries. Import is oil, minerals, metals, so all the raw materials. It is the factory, or it's you can say it's a farmhouse of China. And they have given big loans to the countries who are rich, actually, strategically. I should say very, very strategically, they have disbursed the loans to every country, which I'll show you in my coming slides, and how they try to control now. Why they could able to do that? Why India? You might be wondering that why India did not take this kind of advantage. Yes, their modus operandi is very, very different. Their modus operandi had go out and buy. Their government is saying, their companies, and most of the companies are state-owned companies, they say, go out and have deals with Africa wherever you want. We will support you. We will support you with the credit lines. We will support you with the letter of credit. We will support you with the infrastructure you need. We will support you with the manpower. You know what kind of manpower work in Africa for developing the infrastructure in different countries? Yes, they bring prisoners of war. Prisoners, basically. Criminals, sorry. Not prisoners of war, criminals. So criminals which are jailed actually in Chinese prisons, they take them out, they train them, and they bring them to Africa. And believe me, friends, I have traveled actually the length and breadth of many countries in Africa, and you will see a lot of Chinese people settle there and speaking Swahili, speaking Yoruba, speaking all other African languages. They have a wife who is an African. They have a business over there. And of course, they are still working for China. Those criminals are left behind after Chinese government do the work in China. Yes, the political associations, when Chinese people come, they meet the political leaders, support them, they grease them, they bribe them. They have, though obviously, one thing I would like to tell, China doesn't use technology. They are not aware of much technology which they want to put there. They are mainly into construction. They are mainly into auto, which I'm going to which I'll go cover in coming slides. So what they do is they have technical tie-ups with European and US companies. Like they have technical tie-up with Shell, Chevron, then they have technical tie-up with De Beers. So that is the kind of machinery and all they use actually the skill set of Europeans and Americans, but they are actually totally on the ground, having very, very good relation with the presidents of each and every country, because they give loans. And once they give loan, once they create infrastructure, they ask things in return. You can see that Mombasa port in Kenya is now in the hands of China. In Djibouti, they have given the port to China because they are not able to repay the loans. Same thing, of course, is happening with Sri Lanka and Nepal as well, is going to happen. But yes, Africa, they have strengthened their presence and now ready to again colonize that. In Zambia, Lusaka airport is run by Chinese now. The metro rail in Ethiopia is run by Chinese now. So all the revenue which is coming comes to Chinese. So that is the power, actually, that is the investment which they have done very, very strategically to control everything. They have 20 years contracts of raw material supply with many countries in Africa. So those countries have an exclusive tie-up that all the cobalt, whatever they produce for the next 20 years, will go to China. So such kind of things, you can imagine if somebody wants to start a factory on which needs cobalt, it is like a monopoly. It is like creating a monopoly when you have 90% of the cobalt, which comes from Africa, of the world's cobalt, and that is in the hands of China. You can understand what we are going for and what is going to happen in the future. So these are very, very difficult times and very threatening things which we can see. And yes, that is a dead trap. Obviously, you might have heard of One Belt, One Road aspirations. So there's a bigger map and bigger strategy of China, that how they control the South China and Sri Lanka and going to Africa, and how they surround to, from starting from Thailand and going to Scandinavian countries. So that is another angle, is a broader strategy of China. So let me take you now, this which I was talking about. Look, Egypt is Suez Canal, Ethiopia is big population. Ethiopia population is almost 10 crores. Nigeria, big population. You have Angola for oil and diamonds, Zambia, Djibouti, Tanzania. So everything is strategic, which I could see. And when I go there, I could see this kind of a strategy. Now coming the entry of India. So you might be wondering till now that he's talking about China, he's talking about Africa. Why is he not talking about India? What India is doing? So let me take you the main differences, the cultural differences and other differences, what India and China are in Africa. So let me tell you, Indians are also present in Africa. You have big groups which have migrated 70, 80 years back, or maybe 100 years back from Gujarat, from Kerala. There are people from UP, there are people from Maharashtra who have already set up their conglomerates. For example, our distributor of Bajaj sitting in Ghana, Sumoko, his name is Moinani. So when I talked to him, he said that I came to Africa 60, 70 years back, and I came to sell shoes because nobody wears shoes. And I heard somewhere some story in the management class that when somebody doesn't wear shoe, you have the opportunity, rather than saying that nobody wears, so there's no demand. So he gave that example, and so I started selling shoes in Africa. And now he is a conglomerate, actually. He's a $700 million turnover empire, which he has created over the past so many years, and now second or third generation is working there. So for India, if I say that there is a lot of differences between India and China, how they function. Indians, which I saw there, have deep roots. Deep roots means those people work very closely with the culture of Africa. They mingle with African people. All their employees are locals, and they train them, they nurture them, and they conduct very, very ethically there. So obviously transparency is there. They very participate in the government matters. So you know that there is there's a Indian social club almost in every country. So where people have dandiya, people celebrate Diwali, people celebrate Holi, Onam. So such kind of, and those people also like Indians so much. So they reciprocate as well. So almost all the Indians know Swahili, they communicate with them. So I could not find a difference actually. What is the difference? People are in diaspora who is staying there. But China has a very, very different image. These people are called a fake man. If you go to Africa and talk about the Chinese person, he says, oh, fake man. So they say they are fake people. Of course, they got the first mover advantage. So when there was nothing, they created the market for us. For everything. They brought bikes over there. They have so much of flexibility. I cannot tell you that if you go and ask a Chinese person that I want a tire of a bike, he says yes, and India price is $12 a tire. You say no, I want it for $4. He says yes, I can give you. You say $8. He says yes. They don't know how to say no. Why? Because they have quality for each and every price. They won't say you get a lower quality. They say yes, our quality will be good 4 also. But you know that tire will go off in 2 months rather than $12 tire going in 15 months. So that is the kind of flexibility they have. I can get a bike named Nitin Singhal in Africa. So instead of Discover, instead of Pulsar, it will be written Nitin Singhal there. So they can give any kind of bike. They have albums actually. You can have the album opened and you can select the mudguard of something. You can have a tank of some design, and they can give you that bike actually, which never existed before, with such kind of a design. So that is the flexibility these people enjoy. Yes, magnitude, they know how to scale it up. They have good relations, efficiency, government backing, everything which I talked about, yes. Indians, obviously, when I talked about positive things about China, but flexibility, yes, we lack those things. Policies are very rigid. No, Indian companies doesn't supply. If we say, okay, if some importer in Africa is asking 50 bikes, we say, no, we cannot provide. Minimum order is this much, or we have distributor already. So that is the kind of approach we people have. So I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but yes, we applied that and we are successful. Government backing still needs to be improved. The Modi government and earlier from 10 years back, they started very heavily actually strategically going and giving some CSR funds to African countries and trying to pitch in with infrastructure and all. But still, as compared to China, we are nowhere as of now. Obviously, Chinese is a very transactional approach, as I told you. They are beaten up actually many times in China. They're very dry people. If they lack trust, if you finalize any contract today with any Chinese person, and tomorrow you ask, okay, you honor my contract, he says, which contract? So even if a signed agreement, legal agreement, it happened that they signed a legal agreement and next day they actually went with somebody else. So that is the reliability of Chinese people. Again, trivia. Of course, I was talking about China, they're greasing and all. Some Indians too leave an indelible mark in Africa. Can you guess, can anybody guess the Republic of, what I'm talking about here? The Republic of Dash. There is a famous, there is a famous book written on this.
Banana.
No, it is the Republic of Gupta. And it is the book, the story of state capture. These three brothers from Saharanpur went in 1990 to South Africa. And at one point of time, they have captured the whole South Africa. And this led to Jacob Zuma, who is actually shown as puppet in the hands of these brothers, had to leave. And they have actually siphoned off billions of dollars in South Africa. Now, for us, coming to Bajaj Auto, how could we able to break this Africa code? As I told you, the Chinese are difficult. They are flexible. They are everywhere. They are scattered. They have good government connections. They have wonderful PR, so-called PR with each and every country. Then, despite all this, how we are able to get inside or break the shell and win and push the Africa back. This is Bajaj. This is a flying bee, Bajaj Auto's logo, where we have so many, you can see that we are in mountains, means Nepal, we are being in India, we are in Tanzania, we are in, you can say Latin America, you can see those faces down. We are in Egypt, you can say pyramids. So that is what it is. We are present in over 70 plus countries. And with ranges already, you know, we have Discover, we have Pulsar, we have Platina, and we have Dominar, we have Avenger. So yes, but for Africa, we had a different strategy. So let me take you to motorcycle landscape of Africa. China entry, as I told you, 2001. India was a bit late. We were a bit late. Bajaj market share, to give a glimpse, that it was only 5% in 2010 and risen to 43% in 2019. China, 85% to 40% we have reduced. And we are not talking about a small market size here. We are talking about a market size of 24 lakh bikes a year. So you can say the market size of 2 lakh per month.
What is the size in India?
India, it is crossed actually, you can say we sell around 12 lakhs bike a month. In India,
about 25 to 26 million.
Yes. It has crossed 20. It has touched 28 million. So bike market, if you see, the scooter market is different. So almost Hero sells around 8 lakhs bike a month. We sell around 3 lakh bike a month. TVS is around 2.5 lakh a month. And then you have Honda, which sells around 4.5 lakh scooters a month. So total, you can say it has reached 28 million and 27 now because of COVID, possibly it might be lesser this year. Now talking about this commercial usage, the bike in Africa, 100% usage of the bike is commercial. Commercial means they use these bikes as a taxi. On transferring people from one point to other, it is called Boda Boda in Tanzania. Boda Boda name came from border. So they used to shout Boda Boda, border to border. So Boda Boda, Okada, it is called in Nigeria, Piki Piki in Kenya, Moto Cairo in Angola. So they are known by different names. Africa, yes, you will be surprised. You might be thinking Africa is very poor, very laggard in terms of technology. All the money usage which happens in Africa comes through mobile money. I have not seen actually people transacting in physical currency notes. They have the mobile money, even they want to eat a sandwich. So they transfer the money, mobile money. There's a Tigo money in Tanzania. There's a Kenya, they have a different money system. Nigeria money, a different system. So that is how microfinance companies, you have people who are standing somewhere on the roadside is ready to able to recharge. It is because of risk, basically. The kind of risk Africa has, it is very difficult to travel with currency notes in Africa. I'll cover that in my future slides, that how risky is Africa. You might be wondering, why should we go there if such a situation is prevailing? So yes, there are two main.
Vishal, one question.
Yeah, tell me.
When you say mobile money, are they transacting using phones or something else?
They are transacting using phones.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, all the money is through phones.
Just to add to that, it is not just smartphones. It is also absolutely normal, regular phones.
Yes.
You would be amazed with some of the things that are done with mobile money in Africa. I think that calls for a.
Yes. So obviously, I mean, they don't. You might be thinking that smartphones. Yes, you touched the right point, because not many people actually, very few people have smartphones there. So they do every sort of transaction to the normal phone. Normal phone costs actually $9. So which we give sometimes as an offer when they purchase a bike, so consumer offer. So we purchase for $7 and sell it for $9 to the dealers, and they in turn give free to the customers. So two main players, China and India. And you can see Japan through. What is Japan through? It means Japan has not also missed the bus. Japs are very, very clever, because they know that entering Africa means high price, because of course Japanese have very a high pricing tag, whether it's called Yamahas, Hondas and all, and they don't make products which are for Africa. So what they have cleverly done, they have shifted their production to China and given their authority to the companies in China that you put a different brand name to a bike, but the revenues and profits will come to us. So we have to say it's a Japanese Honda or it's a Chinese Honda. It's a Japanese Yamaha or a Chinese Yamaha. So such kind of thing, Japan is also not left taking the pie. China, as I was talking, made to order. China have credit lines. So everything is free over there. They can throw bike in any part of Africa because it is free. They have to pay after 6 months. The dealer or importer who is purchasing have to pay after 6 months. So he doesn't worry. Even 100 bikes somebody keeps, 1,000 bikes somebody keeps. So they don't, unless they have to pay, they don't worry. We have multiple importers. As I told, if somebody wants 30 bikes, he can order from China. Low quality, feature loaded. This is again a very, very, it's a misnomer. It's an oxymoron. Low quality and feature loaded. But yes, flexibility. Chinese people have actually succeeded in giving disc brakes, in giving remote engine starter in a bike. Can you believe remote engine starter in a bike? You can start a bike from a distance. Of course, 30 to 40% lower price than Indian bikes, TVS and Bajaj. Use and throw. So you can imagine a flashy bike, which is a feature packed and use and throw. So all things looks very, very contrasting. Tactical promotions, they are very, very good in doing tactical promotions. On other side, Indians have one distributor, talking about Bajaj actually, we have one distributor per country. Who is this distributor? So we have a long-term approach. As I told you, Indians actually come for establishing themselves for a long term and creating an ecosystem. So we have one distributor per country. So one distributor means actually we export the bike to that particular person or a company who's sitting in Africa in a particular country. He in turns have a set of dealers in the country. Suppose I have METL. I'll take an example of Tanzania. So Muhammad Enterprises Limited, whose owner is Muhammad Devji. So who obviously got kidnapped actually some 1.5 years back by the government itself. So they have some kind of links over there. So we actually export bike to a distributor. Of course, they have $1.5 billion company, a turnover. So they receive the bikes, they assemble the bikes there in their assembly plant. Then they actually distribute to different dealers. Different dealers means they have 150 dealers across the country. Focus on quality, yes, this is our first focus, that we should be a quality, we should give a quality product. The brand building, customer centric, and it is about actually being very, very methodical, whatever we do. That is the USP. That is the difference. So coming to the second question.
Vishal, I had a question.
Tell me.
I know Bajaj actually has a huge financing business as well,
Yes.
which goes along with the motorcycle business. Do you do that in Africa as well? And how does that actually behave versus India?
Okay, that's a very good question. Actually, it has the right chord. So many distributors, including Muhammad Devji, which I was talking about, METL, Muhammad Enterprises Limited, Tanzania, they have expressed recently, because they saw that Bajaj FinServ and Bajaj Finance are doing such a good business, actually having good EBITDA margins and successful. So I also studied the Bajaj Finance model by actually sitting with those people for 2-3 days. Having actually, when they expressed their interest, I called those people to India. And they had a meeting with Bajaj Finance people. Of course, they met Sanjeev Bajaj as well in Pune. So obviously, after going through, they liked the model, they liked the approach, but they say that this is difficult. This model is difficult in Africa because you cannot trust in Africa. If you give the finance, he will run away. You will never be able to find. Then they found the systems and processes. So we don't have people actually who run this kind of system. Where if you miss 2 buckets of your payment, the bike will get seized, or they can repossess the bike. So obviously the talk is going on to actually reshape or modify the system so that it suits to Tanzania, and similar things for South Africa, similar things for Kenya. So I also studied actually their model. There is a Auto Finance, which is in Kenya, who is doing good financing for Indian bikes, and earlier they were doing Chinese bikes as well. So our system, I would like to say, our system is a bit different because Africa cultural mix. Because a very, very finance business is a very sensitive business. You can take an exposure of $50 million in 1 year, and then you see that you burn your hands, and finally you lost all the money. Because Africa is the continent where you go with $1 million. After 1 year, you can come empty-handed. Africa is the country where you go with $100 in hand. You come with $1 million after 1 year. So that is the actually history of Africa. I'll touch upon those things, that what are the caveats, what are the things you have to do to actually counter all the things in Africa. So coming back, the second largest film industry in the world. Any guesses?
Vishal, Sachin here. I have a question on previous slide. I just noticed that Chinese actually have dropped down the market share from 85 to 40%. Is my understanding? So I think that happened just in about 4 years, right? I mean, how did that happen? How did you do that? How did you achieve that?
Yes. So I'll be coming to that in my coming slides.
Yeah, that's what the whole presentation is about.
Yes. So I'm coming to that. I'm building the actually curiosity. So it's good that you.
Thanks. Yeah.
So second largest film industry in the world.
Nigeria.
Nollywood. Absolutely. It is the Nollywood, and you can see the movies. Can you see a movie Roti? Yeah, so it's a Nigerian movie. It's about a child actually who died, and her mother actually saw a similar child actually achieve. So it is that. Anyway, good. Let us proceed. Now, I was trying to answer question. So this national business where segregated them into mature and developed. So you can see the mature markets in Africa, basically on East Africa.
Vishal, I think their voice is breaking up now. Not just, I think, for multiple people.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi problems, I think.
Yeah, same here.
Chinese Wi-Fi, man.
And we also got stuck. Yeah.
Oh, I think it dropped.
Yeah,
So I think it's dropped. I'm not sure. I mean, they just want to pause.
The Chinese Wi-Fi, Vishal.
Recording is on.
I don't know. It's Murphy's law, actually. I tested it before. Sometimes happens, but doesn't happen so frequently. I'm audible or difficulty? Hello?
Go.
Okay, fine. So let us see the whole market. Actually, you have seen which all markets we are present, and
Vishal?
it is about mature, nascent. The West Africa side, you have the green and blue. So there are new markets and mature markets. So it's not long actually which we have entered in these markets, but mature. You can see Egypt, you can see Nigeria on the west, you can see Ethiopia, you can see Tanzania. So all these markets are mature markets. And share of business 49%. Now coming to another one, you will be surprised actually to see that 80% of our business comes from number 1 and number 2 markets. So Africa, when I was talking about the mature markets, you can see we are at number 1 over there. Number 1 in terms of market share. And this is a global outlook, which I am giving it to you. That is how we operate. Now, you might be wondering actually what all we did, what Bajaj Auto stands for. International business especially. Innovation, lean manufacturing. As I told you, we don't have any plants across the globe other than India. So we work through distributor model. As I told you, the distributor has to invest everything for us in terms of setting up a plant over there, taking government approvals. So we dispatch completely knockdown kits, CKD, and somewhere SKD, semi-knockdown as well, to these countries. And then we have put up ecosystem or a system over there so that these people know how to actually assemble these bikes, how to put in their showrooms, how to develop the dealerships, how to train the dealerships, and how to finally do promotions and sell the bikes to the customers. So you can imagine, I was talking about Tanzania, Mohammed Enterprises Limited, who is a distributor. So they were not into automobiles. They had a big presence across Tanzania in FMCG. So they were the oil king, they are a soap king, they're an agro king. So you can call them that. They have different businesses of gems, precious stones. So they had no clue about actually how to do a bike business. Then obviously you might be thinking that why did you select them as a distributor? So that I'm going to cover in the next slide, that how we select the distributor in every country. So
Vishal,
yes,
one quick question. This manufacturing, any reason this bikes are like knockdown units being sold?
Yes, the reason is loadability.
No?
Loadability. I mean, once we ship these bikes, we can have 160 bikes in a container if we put it in CKD. And if we send it in CBU, that is completely built units, we have only 57 bikes coming in that.
Oh, okay.
So obviously the cost increases, handling increases. No, a distributor also have to buy bigger warehouses. So the handling charges will be much more, and then damage will be there. If you have CBU somewhere, it gets port handling and all, it gets problem. So it's difficult. And other thing which I'll tell you is that some of the customers buy only boxes. So they don't buy a bike from a showroom sometimes, because they are in a far-flung area. They've come actually in a bus or something like that, and they cannot go. They cannot drive a bike 300 kilometers. Sometimes earlier when we didn't have a good network. So obviously we give them the box. But yes, we have ensured that wherever he lives, we have a mechanic over there who can assemble his bike. So I'll come to that. And then have differentiated brand positioning. So in a sea of bikes, how do we actually stand out in Africa? This is how we do it. market assessment and identification. So first we assess the market, then you select the partner, then see that what country is about, what is the colonial history, what is the culture of those people. Are these people fat enough, or are these people very lean? Do they sit, is there a culture of 125cc, or is the culture of 150cc? Why I'm talking about this culture is Chinese have developed this culture. Chinese did a very good job for us to create the market, because being the first mover advantage, because people in Africa, many countries like Ethiopia, they don't know how to ride a bike. They are afraid of riding a bike. They say that how can a two-wheel vehicle be balanced? Which is a very, very genuine question. Sometimes it becomes difficult for us to tell them that you can balance the bike. He says, no, we are not in a circus. We cannot balance. So you can imagine what these people think. Some of the people in Ghana think that there is for every country, there is a different sun and the moon. So that is the kind of people where we are reaching, we are talking about. So yes, identify growth engines, prepare the game plan. So what is the game plan for the south region of Tanzania, for the west region, because south region has a cashew season in November, December. The west region is good in gold mining. So we should launch 150cc bike over there. The north is actually Maasai tribe, which have got a lot of money and by selling hides, animal hides. And they are very good in farming as well. So what kind of a bike they require. Then finally, we reach the execution points, action points. And believe me that the understanding of the market plays a very, very important role. Understanding of the market it happens. So sorry, I'll go to the back slide. Understanding the market, you might be wondering whether we do it with Nielsen, whether we do it Millward Brown, whether we'll do it EXP arm, which is the Ogilvy arm. How do we do it? Let me tell you, we do it ourselves. First, that is the primary research. Then we get the secondary research done. Then the third research, which is more exhaustive in terms of basic finding out that how many towns are there, counting those towns, population of those towns. So we reach to that level, but yes, primary research is done by us. So that is why actually I travel to those places, maybe a one-day trip by an airplane and come back and meeting those people, seeing the air of that place, that what kind of people, whether they're interested. So such kind of things happen. It's a grassroots level working, which is to be done to actually find out the growth levers, growth engines of that particular place. And yes, then we, once we develop it, then obviously the sustenance of that thing matters a lot. Considering the culture, if you leave the things without any matrices where you can count or calculate or review, it's all futile. Once you develop something, after 1 month when you come, everything is zero. Everything comes back to naught, zero. So you have to have a sustainable plan that how you do it and it snowballs and get into a bigger level. So this is what creating an ecosystem. Ecosystem doesn't mean that what Chinese do actually, they throw bikes. They don't actually focus on spares. They don't focus on service. They don't focus actually of any of the customer concern. So first we identify market. So one of the growth engines for the market which create an ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? That what we are planning to do, we tell the distributor, we work hand in hand with the distributor. We take a worm's eye view. Once we go to the region, then we go and sit and take a bird's eye view, sitting in the boardroom of Bajaj Auto in Pune, that what that country looks like. And together we decide that what are the growth engines of that country, particular country or particular region. Yes, and then was the training the distributor, handling the distributor, that how Bajaj DNA has to be passed on to all the dealers without iota of disturbance or iota of, you can say, a wastage or leakage. So that is how it involves training, it involves what kind of promotions you want to run, what competition analysis, market intelligence. So all those things plays a very, very big part in doing it. Of course, finance. So I'll touch upon the finance as well in the slide. So broadly, this is the strategic approach. One is customer experience. These are the three main pillars. A differentiated and superior experience. As you might have seen in my earlier slide, a small African girl made her own bike, which is made of wood and from the waste material. So these are the aspirations. So what I feel that we should not confuse between poverty and aspiration. There is always aspiration at every level of strata of society. And I was amazed to see that such people say that I don't like this, I like this. The person who doesn't have food to eat still says that this color is good, this color is not good. Imagine they don't have any means of survival, still they have aspirations. So yes, customer experience is very, very important thing. Markets, as I told, wider and deeper. Wider means expansion, deeper means increase in the market share, presence in the particular area. And yes, distributor it's a channel partner which plays a very, very important role. But central to all these things is our profitability in terms of our goal of that we should be either number 1 or number 2. I talked about Pulsar, I talked about Discover, I talked about Platina, I didn't talk about Boxer. So Boxer is the bike which we made exclusively for Africa. We did not had any other bike earlier in Africa. This is a tailor-made bike for Africa. Yes, when we have to enter there and to fight Chinese, we should also have a bike and a country like Africa, where everybody is 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighty as well. And they have, and obviously because of poverty, 3 or 4 people sit together on a bike, 4 people. So obviously we have to do modifications. It's a tailor-made bike with with hard suspensions, with more power, and we have the longer seat. So these are the modifications which we have done and came up with this. Though you see X model, it is for upcountry, remote area where the terrain is not good. It is just a symbolic thing because those people feel that this is a very, very sensitive bike. It's a luxury bike. But though we have lifted the mudguard and made some changes in terms of knobby tires here, so which can negotiate the harsh terrains. So and you can see the positioning. Positioning is very, very different is different for each and every model. What we communicate. This is one of the illustrations that what kind of positioning we do. We say made stronger to last longer. And in Tanzania, it is Hakuna Matata. No problem bike. Na matatizo. Matatizo means no problem. So there is no problem bike. Once we go there and talk to those people, they feel good that somebody from India has come and reached us from so far flung area and talking to us. I was talking about identification analysis. This is one example that we see the world market. What is the world market? What is the addressable market? And what is to be addressed? So we see the global market as our universal set. And then we decide upon what is the subset we want, what kind of a market we want to get into. And how we decide that is this. Again, I'll bring about the Gini coefficient equivalent on the unemployment rate of the y-axis, and x-axis you have IHDI.
So Vishal,
yeah.
Vishal, a very pedantic question, right?
Yes.
So, before we go into this analysis, I just want to understand how you are placed with respect to how your product is placed with respect to a Chinese bike versus, and on the other end, more bigger, more prestigious brands like say KTM or more, upmarket of brands like KTM and all that. So how do we? Where is that value proposition coming from? Bajaj, which places? What is your sweet spot? That's what.
Okay. Yes. So I'll just answer that. Yeah. So when you talk about the price proposition, yes, I talked about the Chinese are 30 to 40% cheaper than us. So if we give a FOB onboard FOB of $500, so they are at $350. So that is the kind of FOB Chinese people give, and $500. I'm just giving an example. And if you say Honda Ace, so they have a different model as talked about a Honda and Yamaha YBR. If we put together, the Honda is 20% costlier than us. So if you are $500, they have $600 FOB. Yeah. So Yamaha and Honda, they have similar kind of things, and they apply in this South Africa. So talking about coming to your question, what is the benchmarking? So we do a benchmarking, we do a spec comparison. I don't have handy that spec comparison. If you compare a Chinese bike, I'll show you how the Chinese bike look like in the coming slide. And we do a benchmarking spec comparison, and we calculate the cost of ownership. So I'm coming to that. Yeah. So this is This is,
if you're addressing it later, no problem. Yeah.
Yes. This is the conducive zone where we say that we want to enter at a place which is higher in inequality, which may be not much higher in unemployment. there is a money. That means there is a money in the economy. Unemployment is not so high that all the wealth is, people are not getting jobs, there are no resources. At the same time, the index is not too low. If we actually come to this area of 0.2, so you have then equality. Then nobody will actually buy our bike to ride it. It is a commercial taxi. And if you go much higher, like South Africa and all, you might have seen the map. We didn't enter there. So there actually Gini coefficient is much higher. The inequality is much higher. So poor is so poor that he cannot pay his daily installment. So we have this is also a particular thing which I'm talking about. You have when these bodas actually ride the bike as a commercial taxi, these people pay the money, repay the money every day. So they earn, they pay. So a boda in a day earns around, you can say $8 to $10 a day. That is around 750 rupees, if you say. And he has to pay some $4 as the daily installment to the microfinance company or to Vatu, which I was talking about, so who are actually dealing with this. So he takes home $5 to $6 or $5. So you can imagine he has to run his family at 350 rupees a day. And he gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning, rides, he just stands on Bodai stand waiting for the customers. The customer comes, get down from the last mile transport. They get down from the bus and they want to go home. So it's a daily routine. Most of us might have seen the pilot system in Goa, where these people actually use the commercial taxi in Goa. And now it is coming in Bangalore and Delhi. Slowly this is pitching up in India as well, as the Gini coefficient of India is increasing slowly. So it is that kind of a thing which we see what is the conducive zone. Another trivia, life expectancy in Nigeria is, can anybody give the answer for this? Life expectancy, any guesses?
55, 60.
Good, you are close. So as compared to Hong Kong, you see 84, and the US and India and Central African Republic is lowest, CAR. 52.8 years, and this is the central part of Africa, and a lot of people are cannibal over here. So nobody enters, nobody actually do business in this part of Africa. Moving forward, coming to...
Did you say cannibals?
Yes, they eat human flesh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So nobody goes actually. There are 2-3 countries like Chad, like Central African Republic, and DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. So these considered to be very, very actually risky visiting these places. So remotely we actually handle these businesses. We send those Indians who actually want to take risk possibly, or who are living there already and know the tricks of the game and have muscle power. So we give it to them, and we never enter those territories. We just get the reports from them, and that is how we do it. So as I was talking about, we give assembled stock.
Hopefully you collect money in advance, huh?
yeah. Every money actually which Bajaj Auto does the business comes in advance. We don't even work on cash on document COD basis. We don't work on USAN's LC. We work on site LC or SBLC, standby letter of credit, because everything is secure. Because you can never imagine a country like Ethiopia, where those banks like Central Bank of Ethiopia, you have Equity Bank in Tanzania, you have banking system which nobody actually believes them. There is no trust actually in Indian banks. When talk to SBI or HDFC or Axis Bank, they say I don't want to touch actually their banks. One is NIBM, and such kind of banks are there which nobody actually wants to do business.
Vishal, can you imagine selling banking software to these banks?
So
pardon me, can you
please charging a lot of interest? Can you repeat, please? What is the typical interest rate that people pay?
Interest rate. Yeah, very, very interesting. Interest rate goes from 25% to 40%.
Wow.
Per year or per month?
It is it is per annum actually.
per year also is huge. Yeah.
But yes, I mean, if somebody actually it differs, because if I'm a dealer sitting in some remote area, so I'm like a Seth over there. I'm an Indian Seth who is sitting in some remote area in African country. So I rule the roost. So I say that if you buy a bike of $1,000, I will charge you some 12% interest a month. So that goes to hell of 144% per annum. So he says, okay, you take it, because this guy doesn't know, and they barter actually gold. I have been to Madagascar. We were walking actually in the jungle, and it was a daytime in an SUV where there are not much roads over there. And we saw a tribal sitting on the roadside, keeping something on a cloth and selling something. So I told our distributor that, stop, what he's selling? He told, no, it's gold. I told, what? It is gold. They found the gold nuggets and they are selling on the roadside. So I told, how much they are going to sell? They say, with a sack of rice. You give them 5,000 rupees and take 100 grams of gold. That is what I have seen with my own eyes. So I told, okay, I am ready to buy. He says, you cannot take this out. What happens that local people sometimes purchase, they have their own means, they sell it to different mafia, and finally it flies to Dubai or somewhere else. So that is how gold smuggling happens from all these countries. All the president's contacts, these people actually, that guy is sitting on the road because he may get some 5-10% better than what he's getting from the mafia, which he's selling to. So that is why he's sitting on the roadside. So the whole thing is that the aircrafts, the private jets actually stuffed with gold, stuffed with cobalt, stuffed with diamonds. They fly from these countries, whether it is Ghana, whether it is Nigeria, whether it is Angola, they fly to an unknown destination. And all the money is being siphoned off. All the gold treasure is being siphoned off by the presidents and their people. This is actually the plight of Africa. So I've seen that.
This is very fascinating, by the way, Vishala. My question is, how do the Chinese collect money? Basically using government power and army, right?
No. The government power actually doesn't get to that level. The government power goes into actually having a bigger traps, like the 20-year contract for cobalt or gold mining or copper mining, diamonds. So this is what they are limited to. Because the dealer who is sitting there in the place, in a small country, in a small territory, village, a Chinese dealer. So first of all, I told you there's a multi-dealers actually. So that guy keeps Chinese bike as well. That guy keeps a Honda bike as well, and sometimes Bajaj bike as well. Though we are going towards exclusivity and all clause, but yes, they sell those bikes. Those are actually the muscle men actually of that area. In India also it happens. If I buy a bike in Bilaspur, obviously he says, "Aap bike le jaiye. You can take this bike and repay me in 6 months." So how do I pay? He says, "Oh, you give me 12,000 now, and after 10 days you give me 5,000. You give me like this. You give me like that." So they have their own methods of actually taking the money. Here in Africa, they pay daily. So they know actually that who all have purchased. He will obviously not go far off from vicinity of that area. And he is the hearsay. I mean, he goes then catch the people that you have not paid for past 2 days. Give it to me or seize the bike. So that is, and believe me, African culture is something where it's a tribal culture. So unlike India, they have actually higher family values. Family values in terms of that nobody wants to, or a higher cohesive society where nobody wants to tag themselves the defaulter. So you go to any tribe and you say, oh, that XYZ person has defaulted. So people may actually shun that guy out of the society. So this is what the culture is. Those people look so cruel or so criminals and all by their look and built. But yes, inside, they have a strong social fabric which is lying with them. That's what I'm going to tell about, that how safe it is actually to travel in Africa, provided you have some kind of precautions. Yeah. So hope I answered the question. Any other question you have?
No, this is good for me.
Okay. So in Tanzania, I was talking about that, taking an example. This is the map of Tanzania. So when we entered in, hello. When we entered in Tanzania, so we were yes. So when we entered Tanzania, we were only present towards Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam, you can see the yellow side on the eastern side. Below Kilimanjaro, you have Dar es Salaam and Mafi Island. This is Dar es Salaam. So our 60 to 70% business happened in Dar es Salaam. Then you have Dodoma and Morogoro on the left side, and Arusha, where Kilimanjaro is there. We have some kind of a business. So when we had a game plan actually for this, we mapped this market, mapping obviously number of dealers, number of roads, even we mapped the highways, that which are the highways, which are the hub and spoke infrastructure roads, that how it goes, what is the income level of those people. And after mapping, then we visit and re-verify and understand the culture. So what we have done with METL, Mohammed Enterprises Private Limited, so we have taken advantage of their strong FMCG setup because they have dealers at every nook and corner. So we decide the strategic locations of covering the whole country. Strategic location in terms of setting up warehouses, setting up small assembly shops. So these are the assembled stock, which you can see that this is where we actually distribute the assembled stock. So we don't assemble, the bikes reach at Dar es Salaam port. They get unloaded as CKDs, they get into their warehouse. The warehouse people actually assemble them. I'll show you how the plants look like. And then nearby areas, they distribute. Rest CKD boxes are being shipped or transported to these different regions. So once we actually get into this FMCG setup, so we have leveraged their existing setup to counter Chinese, because Chinese are everywhere, because they are free. So you can take the bike anywhere, multiple importers. We have only one distributor. We don't sell it to anybody else. So that is the advantage Chinese people take. So they are present like bees everywhere. So now to counter that, this is our counter strategy in Tanzania, that we have set up warehouses, we have set up assembly plants in these places as well. This is what
did the Chinese introduce a duplicate like they did in South America? I read somewhere that they introduced Gulsar, which was a replica of Pulsar in South America.
You have not only Pulsar, you have Roxer as Boxer, you have Ditto Boxer actually, because there is no legal fabric actually in any of the countries. So you pay anything and get away with that. So they have Boxer, exact replica of our Boxer. They have Roxer, they have Blast. One guy actually imported Blast. So every time you go, you find some new parameters which comes actually get introduced in these markets. So yes, fake parts. Yes, Chinese manufacture all the Bajaj parts. They are fake parts. So what we did to counter them is we did the hologram thing. We did the SMS thing. So you SMS actually, there is a code written on that. You SMS to that number and the number comes to us and we verify and we say, yes, it is genuine part. So that is something which is much deeper actually in terms of systems and processes, that are how we control the Chinese aggression and fakeness in enveloping our business as well, or engulfing our business as well. So you can see that what they were before. So this is something which somebody has taken bike somewhere in remote area and he has opened this on his own. There was no uniformity of CI. There is a corporate identity. There is no uniformity in terms of their uniforms or no displays or service. What transition we have made to these showrooms, you can see. These are the images from Angola, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Zambia. This is quality. This is what I was talking about. We have these kind of assembly plants in every country where we are present. We don't go in any country without we get this kind of a setup, where you have jigs and fixtures to keep the frame, to keep the engine, how the handling happens. And our people from Bajaj comes and train each and every guy and certify them that yes, they have been trained. And then you have matrices which are talking about the dashboards, where the review happens on these things in a Gantt chart. So how do actually these things working as a sustainable process? Now we have this, the Chinese way and the Bajaj way. So we have shown our way. You might be curious to know how they do it. You can see the dump yard actually of frames. These are the bikes which have taken out from the CKD boxes. You can see those bikes and how they're assembling it. And can you imagine the guy who's not trained will be, this is Egypt actually. So will he be able to assemble this bike properly? He may forget actually the harness routing sometimes. Sometimes the bolt gets loosened, but that is how it is. When nobody is present, obviously customer gets buys a Chinese bike. It's cheaper. He doesn't have money, where the finance plays a role. So this is Bajaj way, and which I was talking about. These are the Chinese models. Look so jazzy, isn't it? They are so flashy. No, they have disc brakes. You can see, they have alloy wheels. You can see that those alloy wheels sometimes are not available in cars as well. Long career, you have dual mirrors and chrome plated things. So, but the thing is, everything is plastic. If you see the side, except engine and the tank, fuel tank, of course the rim, but everything else is like very, very fragile and all that. So those people, and the reliability also very less. So this I was talking about, the 30% lower price, spares, backup, use and throw. And you can see the lifespan, 7 to 10 months for Bajaj, for Chinese, and 15 months for Bajaj models. So how do we do the advocacy?
So Vishal,
yeah,
isn't 15 months also pretty on the lower side?
Yeah,
in India,
so
the bikes last for like 3, 4, 5 years, right? Easily.
Right, absolutely. It's a good question. But what happens, no, that is what they use it for. Indian, they use it for personal purpose. No, you save
What do you
your
want me to do?
And there, you see, you can imagine 4 people sitting on a bike, that too 6 feet tall. One is sitting on the tank, and they are moving it, day in and day out. So it's still, I mean, 15 months is a very, very on a very higher side. I have taken it is 13 to 15 months. The bike totally gets. Pardon me?
Sorry.
Yeah. So this is how I'll try to put on my video as well. So this is how.
Vishal Bharat here. What happens after 15 months? Actually, they scrap it, or how do they handle?
Yes, that is once actually, if it is running in Dar es Salaam. Yeah, Dar es Salaam is a very upmarket, urban, which you saw the skyline of Dar es Salaam. So bike doesn't get so much of abused, so much of abuse. So usually they shift it, either they refurbish it and sell it to nearby place like Dodoma or Morogoro, which I talked about the upcountry side, or they scrap it. There is no other use. If the wheels are good, they will take out the wheels, they'll take out the fuel tank, and rest they scrap the bike, whatever thing, and they use it actually in a gray market sometimes. So that is how the life span is very less. Sometimes they abuse it so much that 5-6 months the bike is gone. Day in and day out, sitting 3-4 people continuously on the bike and running like crazy. It's like very difficult to increase their life. Chinese people doesn't give warranty. We give warranty on our bikes. There is a 1-year warranty, which is included in the FOB. So we don't actually supply any kind of funds, whether it is for the promotions, unless it's a new distributor. So we have properly laid rules that if it's a new distributor, we will handhold, we will train, but once it becomes mature, they have to have their self-driven engine. We have to just supply bikes, they have to take care of everything. Any question?
Isn't it 1-year warranty is too long for a 15 months life cycle bike?
It is long, but when you want to enter, if you see the book, warranty booklet, you can see that what are the clauses in the fine print written over there. I don't want to speak much on that.
Yeah.
You have always a fine print, like the bike should not get abused, or the warranty is limited to this kind of a failure, manufacturing defect where the chassis is cracked. So obviously it has. I mean, when 4 people sit and the rim gets hits some stone, so it breaks.
I
So
don't think you should write all that. Just say 4 people should not sit, warranty is wide. That's it. Right in the smallest letter. That's all.
Bike is made.
Hey guys, this is being recorded. We don't know who might see it. Let's be careful.
So yeah, but yes, I mean, warranty is being given, and it is almost, I mean, to keep them happy. As I've written that, we cannot afford to just say that warranty is this. So if we have to penetrate any market, customer should be happy. So we ensure that customer is happy. Now coming to the next one. This is advocacy, which I'm talking about. So in the market, how do you communicate actually to those people that you don't buy that bike which is 30 to 40% cheaper? You have to have a reason to believe. The RTB for this is the analysis, the kind of promotions which we do, the calculations which we do. You see the main items, we have done the calculation, and you can see the Chinese, the frequency of replacement of, suppose you can see the kit valve repair. So it is 4 times, yeah, and the last but one. And we have 12 months and above. Similarly, spark plug, we have 12 months, they have 6 months. So that is the kind of work which we do, and come out with a proposition that yes, cost of ownership will be 30% lower than Chinese bikes. And we have to actually project them in terms of shillings. In Tanzania, the currency is shilling. So we have to say that, oh, you save 600,000 shilling a year. and you can buy something. You can buy a refrigerator. So he says, oh my God, you can buy a school education for your child for 1 year. So that is how those people understand this kind of emotional language, and you have to communicate this way. Then yes, affordability, because our bikes are costlier. We have a tie-up with microfinance credit facilities, non-banking financial, SACCOs, that is South Africa Credit Corporations. So this is again a group of 15 to 20 or 50 people who meet every month, and they form association like chit fund, the kind of the association where one person gets a lottery every month and gets the whole money, where they contribute every month. So it is matka, that kind of thing. So this is a better term called SACCOs over there. So we tie up with those people so that it becomes affordable. The credibility is to be built, the trust. Yes, the modus of actually doing is Boda credit, mobile money, which I already explained. One important thing in the dangerous areas, as I told you, area by area, our strategy differs based on the market characteristic. If there is jungle and you don't know actually where it is taking in a remote area, so we install GPS. Obviously, these costs are incorporated in the final price, and remote engine shut off. So Vatu has this facility. They came up with the feature, which is a Chinese build, of course. So remote engine shut off. So anywhere sitting in Dar es Salaam, if the daily payment doesn't come for the continuously 5 days, Vatu shuts off their engine. The bike will not start at all, and you get the location of that bike. So this is the kind of technology which has built up actually in this Boda business. And that is how we are actually proliferating with this kind of a system in almost every country now.
Vishal, I just wanted to ask you a question. Like, what percentage of the components of Bajaj bikes are like imported from China?
Okay. So this is a very important question. Usually we had the paints. No, the paint pigments were coming from China. The wheel rims were coming from China. Almost you can say around 15 to 16%, 50 to 70% of our components by value comes from China, used to come from China. But this pandemic actually has made us think and build those vendors, develop those vendors in India as well. Obviously, we have our FOB increase, the price to the distributor increased by $15 to $20 a bike. Obviously, it is a pinch, but yes, when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat and also, or non-availability, to be very frank, actually, the China, we don't trust now that when are they going to close or when are they going to arm twist us in holding back the critical components. So if you don't have rims, then you cannot. Sometimes we have actually dispatched these bikes without rims, so that we told them that rims will be coming in the next batch, and we tried from Vietnam and Thailand and dispatched from there. So such a situation arises sometimes. So it's better to develop it here. We have already developed 3 vendors we have for wheel rims now. So on the right side, if you see, there is a bicycle Boda. So these people work in Sengrema area of Tanzania. Very typical, is a gold mine area, but these people are so poor. They actually ferry people on the bicycles, and they charge money. So we upgrade those people. So it is about upgrading the social status of the people and making them prosperous in a broader term, if you say. And this is the work which we do. And this is a typical Boda stand. If you can see this Boda down. So these people stand like this and wait for the customers or the riders who alight from the bus and come and sit on their back on the bike and to go to their home, to last mile transport. This is the market connect.
We're talking about CKD strategy, right? CKD strategy is because of import duties, or is it just transportation convenience?
Yes. It is because of import duty as well. Yeah. Earlier in Tanzania, there was import duty was same, like CKD and SKD. So various countries play a trick actually. Not a trick actually, it is good for them as well. From Nepal to Bangladesh to Sri Lanka, South Asia, and then now Africa. So what these people want is, they say that CKD duty is 5%, SKD is 15%, and CBU is 25%. So it is again a gimmick, because CKD is nothing. A person can assemble the bike in 10 minutes. But we have made those, the governments have that thing that CKD obviously will generate more employment in the country. And reaching to a different level, Egypt has reached to a different level, saying that you have to manufacture these components here. So every country is now coming up with their own rules saying that 15% of localization, that is manufacturing in that country happens, so that you can avail 3% duty. So they have put more incentives for manufacturing. Now getting the things manufactured there, having the setup of machinery, vendors, then you have economies of scale. So there are a lot of trouble on those fronts which is going on. Though obviously in Bangladesh, we have to comply. We have set up a manufacturing plant there. Now Egypt has a manufacturing plant there. Tanzania is going to come. Now government is going to release the CKD, this local manufacturing policy. And Nigeria has a local manufacturing policy. So these things happen, and they have laid a plan. They understood that it is not CKD, it doesn't generate much in employment. So you have to have manufacturing base so that there is churn out in the economy, the money flow, liquidity. So all these things are very important, as you rightly touched. Yes, I forgot to tell you that. Thank you for
Vishal,
bringing it to me.
I suppose even in India, the Indian regulations are very similar, right? I mean, duties for CKD versus CPU, etc., would be very different even in India. When let's say imports within imports into India.
Absolutely. So we also have manufacturing rules that Samsung is coming, you have import duty until unless you manufacture here. They're telling the Foxconn as well for Apple that you manufacture here, we'll have this kind of a duty SOP for you, or a duty waiver for 5 years in Himachal for HUL. Such kind of things we also do that. So next, coming to the Market Connect, you can see that how we do primary research. We talk to those people, what they want, what price they want, what kind of warranty they want, and have a tailor-made package for those people, that what can be included. As you talk about warranty, we can increase the warranty period as well. These people say, no, the terrain is very tough. 1 year cannot work. I say, okay, 1.5. Then obviously the price calculation of everything goes into the price buildup, that which goes from the cost of goods sold to the administrative charges to finally lead to the dealer margin and EBITDA margins. So such kind of things will come into play. But yes, having the feel in the ground, at the ground, is very, very important. Because the study which we have done in South Africa through Nielsen proved to be totally wrong. Wrong means it's false. When we visited the market, it's totally different. Because once you do the research and ask questions and give a structured questionnaire among a set of people, they tend to reply very differently. Or in front of if there is even a single Chinese guy sitting over there, he can turn the whole research into a false report. So ultimately, we have to actually, this is my strong proposition, that if we want to do the business in Africa, we have to go. We cannot send our representative as well. Because if money is mine, my skin is in the game, then I should have been on the road actually to find out what kind of business I can do. So this is what secondary research, customer connect. Coming to customer-centric approach, as we talked about warranty, creating service systems, availability of spares. If spares you don't supply, and the bike is sold to that person, after 2 months possibly that bike will be of no use, and he will have the hatred for Indian bikes. He says, "You never buy again." Word of mouth, how fast it spreads. So that is the kind of problem which we avoid by setting up the ecosystem. Then you have team building. You go everywhere. You talk to those people. You touch their pulse and feel what they want. You train those people. You give them a broader message from Bajaj in front of, like Mo is Mohammed Devji. Mo is our distributor in Tanzania. It stands for Mohammed Devji. And you can see the below METL Bajaj, it is a Tambo motorcycle. It is a dealer. On this is Mama actually. Mama, you call females as Mama there. So Mama rules the roast in Africa. It is a matrilineal society where females have an upper hand in conducting business and having carry on the family values. So these are the dealers. These are dealers from Ethiopia on the bottom right.
So Pan Africa, it's a
yes.
So Pan Africa, it's a matrilineal society.
Yes. Pan Africa. At least I can tell about Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, then Egypt. Then we talk about Mozambique and Angola. Below South Africa, I'm not aware of actually, because this looks like a Europe actually.
Okay.
I don't really venture much there because it's quite risky. These are the promotions which we do. So this is the CSR kind of a PR activity on the top right, where we are teaching actually the customers, Boda customers, to wear jacket, to follow the safety rules, and then displays, then hoardings, then road shows. So mostly you will find, and the radio is a very good communication channel, not TV, because these bodas are always on the move. They don't watch much TV. And having a fun and frolic, music, dancing. So obviously music and dance is most favorite to all the Africans. Even the traffic signals, they get down. And when there's a red light, they come down and they start dancing for 90 seconds till the light.
Is it like Bollywood music?
Yeah, it's like you can say jazz, you can say the Shakira kind of music. Sometimes you have those the rap kind of a thing. In today's generation, what people do. So that is the dance these people do actually, and they do it very, very funny, and they are so flexible. You won't believe that I'm trying for the past 3 months to stretch, but I don't know. I cannot follow this. I dance with these people sometimes, but there is no comparison. You can see that every bone is loose. Everybody's a Michael Jackson there. And believe me, once you go and see them dancing, you cannot come closer also to those people. I don't know how they are built up. So this is Madagascar, bottom, the bottom right. This is the team of roadshow people. So it is my job actually to brief those people that what should be the outcome. What should you do? If the main thing is, if you don't tell these people, or if you give in writing, or if you tell them once through some local guy, they don't really understand. In Africa, one thing you have to learn is patience. If you want to go there, you have to wait. You cannot get impatient, unlike India. And that is what I have learned in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. These are so patient countries, in Nepal and African countries, working with South Asia and now working with Africa, have no match to Indian entropy. The entropy of India is very high. Those people say that, no, Mr. Vishal, you ask everything as if it was required yesterday. Every report. So I learned that Africa style of working. You have patience, you keep softness in your voice, and believe me, those people will be yours. Need not have to worry from those people. So this is promotions. This is the personal slide. Of course, it says that don't confuse the career. Don't confuse having a career with having a life. So this is all Africa, where I have been to. This one is Kenya, the other one is Madagascar, this one is Nigeria, the bottom one is Ghana, and this is South Africa, the Lions. So it is about actually one Friday, the Saturdays, Sundays and all, I have not spared any moment sitting in hotel. So I just go out, move out, and experience the beauty of Africa, the rich heritage, the flora and fauna. And you don't feel afraid. I'm showing this because you can feel that, you do not have to sit in the hotel worrying about it. You can move out, no problem at all, unless you have the confidence and you have a smile on your face. If you feel afraid, obviously there are so many eyeballs watching you. So you stand chances for mugging actually. It so happened in Angola once that I was actually moving on a marine drive in Luanda, which is Angola considered to be very risky. But I thought, okay, so I have seen on the Google Maps that which road goes to. I just landed first time actually in Angola and changed my clothes, put in the hotel. Of course, hotels are very costly. $300 per day in a 2 to 3 star hotel is the charge in Luanda. $300 per night. You have 22,000 rupees for one night stay in a 2-star hotel in Angola. That is the kind of expensive place it is. But yes, with high risk comes high gain. Everything whatever you put, whatever you sell. People were asking me actually my Nike shoes, which are 1.5 years old, to sell at 5 times the price. Can you imagine? They want you, give me shoes, brother. Give me now. So I told why I'm wearing these shoes. He told, I'll buy it. So those were actually $6,000, $7,000, $100 shoes. He told, I'll give you $300, take it now. He took out the money. So I was amazed that a second-hand shoe, which I'm wearing for 1.5 years, and that guy is genuinely actually paying me $300 because I was with the distributor. So he cannot mug me up like this. So I asked him that, what is he up to? He says, the government does not have dollars. So we cannot, despite having oil money, diamond money, whatever money we have in the local currency, we cannot get dollars. So it is about local currency he was paying, but worth $300. He says that the government does not allow actually import of Nike and such kind of luxury goods into the country because the dollar flow out is not there. We have a shortage of dollars. So that is the kind of dynamics you see, which I told in Madagascar selling gold, and this guy want my second-hand shoe. So that is what Africa is. That is why I told you, go with $100, come back with $1 million. So obviously with some kind of a caveat with that. And next is this. This is
sorry, Premraj here, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, Vishal, just one thing I wanted to ask, which is of course taking off from whatever you have said just now. I personally saw that, the people are extremely tribal in nature. Is that still the case all over Africa, that, the tribe and, everything else?
Yes. Yes, absolutely, you are right. So everywhere you go, means when you talk about Africa, you have to have some kind of precautions. Precautions in terms of when you go from India to Africa, when it starts with the sitting in the flight. When you sit in the flight for Kenya, or you sit in the flight which goes to Dubai, and from Dubai to Angola, Luanda. So you get those kind of people in Dubai flight, which are half of the people will be locals. So it starts from there. You should never sleep there with keeping your bag and everything in that, on the upper rack in the aircraft. So if you have kept the bag with the chain, with the zip on the approaching side, you have to turn the bag and keep the zip on the other side. Because one thing is there with Africans, that any money which they can have access to, they don't consider it as theft. It is a tradition there. Once you ask that, if you catch that guy stealing the money, he says, okay, take it back. I thought it's a gift from God. God wanted me to open this bag and take this money. So it is a different, altogether different logic. So sometimes it happens. So somebody has kept the wallet somewhere, while paying the bill, the other person has picked it. So he saw in the camera that this guy is there and he's sitting on the sofa. He told, okay, you just picked my wallet. So he says, oh, I thought you did not see, and God wants me to take it. Today I will have some good food, brother. Okay, brother, if you are unhappy, you take it back. So you get dumbfounded actually. Where am I? So you have to have that careful, that your passport should not be. First thing is passport. Your passport should be with you always. But when you are traveling in the local area, your copy of the passport should be there with you, not the passport. Your passport should be handed over to the driver or the distributor person. Because first thing, what they do is they take the passport. Who? The policeman. They take the passport. They say, okay, where are you roaming actually? You come from India, you're working here? No, I'm on a business visa. Show me your passport. Then you give the copy of the passport. If you give the original passport, he will say, okay, meet me at the police station. So I am going to that police station. Once you go to that police station, he's not there. Then you find, where is he? Who was that guy? So you suddenly lost your passport for no reason, and you are actually helpless, totally, in Africa. Then you feel, now what happened? How will I go back? So some kind of things you have to actually, there's some caveats that put money in 3-4 pockets and all those tricks of the trade. So those things have to be followed in Africa. Yes, the tribal culture is there. If you order some, we were sitting in, you can say Cameroon once, and we ordered the breakfast. So I ordered 5 things actually. I told, okay, bring me one sandwich, one cheese sandwich, one salad, one scrambled egg omelette, one this thing. And then when he was going, I told, brother, come here. So get me one bottle of water also. So he brought the water. And after half an hour, I asked him that, where is my order? He says, which order? So he forgot everything, whatever we told. So you have to make him count for 2 times what exactly we've ordered. Then you have to see that whether it is getting prepared or not. That is the kind of patience which I was talking about. But yes, the culture is still tribal, but those people want to actually still slowly coming to the cities and coming in a reform kind of a situation. So this is Zanzibar, the bottom one. I did my school over there. Yeah.
So yeah, is English good enough to to get around all over Africa, or you need local language? Yeah.
Again, understanding of English is a very tough nut to crack. I mean, it happens only where British colonies have set up their rule, like Kenya. You will see that the kind of presentation these people makes are way better. They are such good orators. Even a bike fellow, if you ask him something, he will stand and present in such a manner that you get stunned, that what fluency he has got in English, what logic he is presenting. So they make good orators. And you will get surprised that this guy is very poor and how come he is good? So that is the imprints of the colonial rules. So British has developed. You will see Kenya is very good, Nigeria is very good, Ghana is very good, Sierra Leone is very good, South Africa is good, which are actually British colonies erstwhile. But the colonies like French, they actually have no infrastructure. They are rogue countries today, or Belgium or Spain or Portugal, like Luanda and all, which I was talking about. It is not worth actually, and they don't know a word of English. I was in Angola, it is a Portugal. So I asked, give me water. So he was like not understanding anything at the reception. Then I made a symbol, water. He did not understand. So they have connectivity problem in the brain as well, the neurons. So I told water, so he could not understand. Then one guy told agua. So, oh, agua, okay. Then he got me water. I told elevator, lift. Where is the lift? He did not understand lift as well. So that is the problem. Then phone comes to the handy, the translator. So I have to juggle with translators. I have to juggle with some 16 SIMs in my wallet. That which country, wherever I go, I have to put that SIM. I have to go with 20 types of currencies in my in my home. So we have selected different pockets, whether it is kwacha, whether it is kwanza, whether it is shilling, whether it is a naira, and whether it is ariari. So many things are there actually which you have to juggle with once you go there. But yes, once you do it, it becomes a habit. And then culture. So you have to understand the Arabic culture as well for Egypt. So you have to talk there in Arabic. You have to say that ma araf arbi. So you have to have developed that epiglottis time, ma araf arbi. So you have to go in there and say makupinda. So you have to have to make them feel better. You try to speak in their dialect, their language, and they have to learn. So I had learned French actually a bit of it, then Portuguese a bit of it, Swahili, Yoruba, all these things by just hit and trial kind of a thing. So it is Kilimanjaro. So I could able to climb Kilimanjaro, not to able to reach the top, but we got to one level above. This is Mandara Hut, but we went to till you can say 13,000 feet. So it was 13,000 feet. We have to return because of the bad weather. So I did my scuba and paragliding and also sort of things you can do there. And this is savannas actually. You have safaris and all. So everything is so good, and I visited Serengeti as well. So you can see I am showing this because to make you believe that this is not something a very, very strange continent. Yes, it has diversity of its own. It has risks of its own. So India has. If you travel in UP, in some parts of you travel in MP or anywhere in Maharashtra or somewhere, there are always people who are ready to mug you. There are always, you understand what happened to foreigners if they come to India. So, but the kind of projection which is deliberately shown to both India and Africa outside is very unfortunate. We see the people starving, we see the people, they are criminals, we see people, and same thing we see about India as well when they are projected abroad. So every place, believe me, has its own charm, has its own freedom. These people don't touch any tourist at all. Unlike here, some people come back, you want an auto, you want to buy, come. Nobody. There is this kind of etiquette. Nobody honks in Africa. Can you believe it? Nobody honks. And there is a 3-hour traffic jam. And dare it that if somebody honks, the other person will smile and look at back and wave him that why are you honking? Keep sitting. That is the beauty of Africa. Africa has its own charm. Every country you find good people, whether it's Nigeria, whether it is this. The only thing which you hear every time is the criminal part of it. It's the sad part of it. So it is full in control, and there is no issue. These are some of the other things. This is South Africa. And again, this photo, third photo, I have deliberately put just to say that anything can happen in Africa, anything. So I was actually in a 10-seater aircraft. We were flying from Dar es Salaam to Kilimanjaro, and luckily I got this the pilot seat. There are 2 pilots, so I got a right seat over there. Believe me, I flew the plane. So rest of the 7-8 people were from Bajaj only and distributor only, and they were slept actually. So I told the pilot in symbolic that can I? He told okay. So lift it up like this and bring it down like this. So you can imagine that anything can happen in Africa. So always be ready for that kind of a thing, possibly, but very few occasions. And third photo is Kilimanjaro climbing on the way. And this is lake in Zambia, and this is South Africa. This is, again, I think this is some country. So this is what Africa is for us. Now, a very interesting and part of it, shall we go or not? You have told about positives, you have told about mugging, you have told about this. So should we go there or should we not? What should I say? So I say that opportunity is huge. Indian government is putting a lot of money, a lot of reforms are happening in Africa, and the mammoth opportunity lies ahead with us. The key sectors of export, you can do pharma, you can do auto, cosmetics. These are the things which everybody is doing actually, up to a certain extent. Imports, cashew is 300 rupees a kg. Here it is 1200 rupees a kg. If you can, I was about to actually order one container of cashew, but yeah, obviously working Bajaj and all, I am not eligible to. So pulses, gold, minerals, vanilla. Vanilla, 80% of the world's vanilla happens, is grown in Madagascar. Whatever ice creams we eat, whatever vanilla flavors we have, those are all artificial, because French use these vanilla for their consumption only. So because it was the erstwhile French territory, they don't allow. That is why they are controlling everything till now, these countries. And you can easily see the honey, the wild bee honey, very, very cheap. You can get, 40 rupees a kg. Once we were passing by actually in Madagascar, so we saw a lot of bottles. So I told, is it liquor or is it something else? They told they are sending honey. So I told, no, in India, they actually put a lot of sugar and the contaminated cell. He told, these people doesn't know contamination at all. Everything grows in Africa is organic. Everything means everything is organic. Even the honey and all, they don't know what is. He told that they don't know where to buy saccharin or where to buy artificial sugar. It is more costly for them. They don't know what is fertilizer. Believe me, they don't know what is fertilizer. The mangoes come at 8 rupees a kg. And very, very juicy mangoes. In Uganda, if you go, the pineapple, sweetest pineapple I ever had. Once I brought it home and I cut that pineapple, one glass of juice came out while cutting it with a knife in the plate. So this is the kind of the crops, wherever you throw the seed, it sprouts. And gems are so smoky in Madagascar. If you want sapphire, ruby, you get all smoky, because Madagascar, millions of years, it was away from, it's an island and it was away from habitation. So it is really untouched. I told about the animals which are not found anywhere. It is lemur, which is found in Madagascar. And there are some other amphibians which you have never seen actually. Once you go there, you can see. So such kind of things are, in Zanzibar is actually a hub of spices. You get elaichi, you get cardamom, some 600 rupees a kg. And here possibly it is 2,000 or 3,000 rupees a kg. So 1 kg I can just bring in my suitcase and bring it. There is no issue. But if you want to do a business, yes, there are a lot of opportunities. Why we get stalled or why we get afraid is because it is unknown to everybody. It is a media strategy, or you can say whatever strategy, nobody tells what is there in Africa. They only project that it is a dangerous place, don't go there, and it is a very, very alien thing to this earth, but it is not so. Other opportunities, what we can do actually for all of us, since we are into tech industry and also we are into different service industries. So yes, whatever conglomerates, when I meet distributors in Tanzania, or when I meet distributors in Kenya or Egypt, those people have money in their hand. Those people have the product in their hand. But the kind of system efficiency, like somebody was talking about the finance, they don't have the system actually where they can bring efficiency into the system. They don't have logistics systems properly in place. So the systems are still age old. So apart that sweet spot which we're talking about is actually developing those systems from a remote location. Possibly the projects can be taken. And the second is technology bridge between Chinese and local. Chinese are so dry, they just do physical work. They don't actually focus on any establishments or offices or long-term commitment, unlike Indians. So this is again a very, very big gap that Chinese do their work. Chinese have made flyovers, Chinese have made stadiums, Chinese have made a rail network. But how to actually connect an auto ticket booking and this kind of a thing, they don't bother about it. So that is what we have a sweet spot. We've always been a service industry and we have a prowess in that. So if we get into that zone, it is purely a sweet spot. But yes, Kavit, as you told, currency, Currency fluctuations are so much. You know about Zimbabwe, what has happened. You know about Angola, the currency in 2 months has gone from 300 to 600 levels. The Kwanzaa. So that is the kind of, and it is difficult to actually then you send some product and the currency devaluates suddenly. Then you are left in middle of the left in lurch. Government handling again, getting those things approved, or basically tricks of the trade means the custom duty. Somebody was talking about the custom duty. So what do people do? The tricks of the trade is, suppose I import the sandals or chappals, basically the slippers from China. So I bought 3 containers, 4 containers, some 10,000, 15,000 or 30,000 pieces. So I got it and I got it for Dubai, that China to Dubai. So it was meant for Africa. I bought it for Dubai. In between, on the high seas, I sold it to African person sitting somewhere else. So in between, the deal happened on the ship itself, on the high seas. That is called switching the BL. Bill of lading is switched, and suddenly that reaches Africa and unloaded at that port, so that if your competitor sees where this ship is coming from, it is coming from Dubai. Nobody knows the origin of that place, that where this chappals belong to. And whatever they do, they pack in a different label. They write made in Taiwan, made in this, made in Korea. Actually, they're made in China. So that kind of a tricks of the trade, then logistics cost, how do you actually minimize the cost, or what is a landlocked, and then you have a bonded warehouse where you actually don't pay the duty. You unload the goods, keep in the bonded warehouse, government put the seal that it is bonded, you have not paid the duty. As and when you sell that, you keep taking out and again sealing that container. So this is bonded warehouse. You don't require a big amount of money to be invested. And obviously the health, actually what happened in Ebola. So Ebola in Mali and Nigeria and those West African countries. So they have killed 17,000 people just like that. And what happened, that those Ebola people, due to lack of the medical facilities, they jumped the walls of the hospitals because it's so infectious. They jumped like zombies. You might have seen the movie of zombies. They keep coming from different positions and they break the wall and come inside and meet the health staff. And they also contracted that disease. Some 700, the health staff also died. All the doctors in Nigeria and Mali and Ivory Coast died because those people just touched them, because it is infectious through sweat as well. So that is the kind of health check. And you don't have hospitals. If you want to come back to India, I mean, the flight will not allow you. So that is the kind of risk sometimes we face. But yes, as I told, they segregated this West Africa and East Africa. The East Africa, you have lower risk, but lower return. West Africa, you have higher risk, higher return. Now you can see that if you want somebody who wants to actually go to Africa to handle your business, and you be sitting in India, US, or any other Middle East, so you can arrange that possibly. Once or twice people come, and some of our distributors do that. So the problem is we don't involve in any kind of unethical practice. If somebody, once we sell our ship, once it goes outbound, once the BL is generated, bill of lading, we don't know where the ship is going, who is buying. We have sold it to a particular party. The money we received is clean money. We ensure that the money is totally clean. It is not a blood money or blood diamond money, or it is not coming through Hawala or any other channel. We do properly. But what happens finally is still a question mark. But some of the people may do it, may not do it. I don't want to comment on that. But yes, Bajaj Auto, not even a single rupee actually, we will try to get greedy on selling to somebody which is unknown. So those are the tricks of the trade. So I have, I think, finished. Are you game to do business in Africa? I can tell you, give you the leads of distributors who are sitting in already.
Hey, Vishal.
Hey, Vishal.
Vishal. Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Vishal, this is Nitin Chiki. Vishal. Vishal.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Vishal, how do you see the power situation in Africa, and do you see some opportunities there? The electricity, energy side of things?
Electricity, okay, power.
Yeah.
Interest. that many countries in Africa runs on generator.
I'm
In
sorry?
Madagascar, for example, Madagascar doesn't have a single Madagascar does not have thermal power plant, have electricity. They are
I think Vishal dropped. He's probably going to come back in.
Yeah.
I'll pause it.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
I was
All
just
the way.
answering
Go
Nitin's
ahead.
question about power. Power has got a tremendous, I mean, you can immense potential in Africa. As I was telling, Madagascar, whole Madagascar runs on genset. So they import Caterpillar and hello, yeah, Caterpillar gensets in the whole country runs on. Pardon me?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go
That
ahead.
is
Continue,
Subudhi playing with
Vishal.
his daughter.
So the countries like Zambia, Mozambique, Malawi, Lesotho, these countries and almost, I mean, many of the countries, they have power shortage. Power shortage in terms of they don't have actually facility of power generation itself. They buy power. So there are various actually Indian companies. Now government of India, one should also actually inquire with the government of India. They have a big target actually to meet in the coming years to enter into Africa, seeing the Chinese aggression and condition, safety issues as well with the border safety. So one belt, one road. So those kind of government is giving a lot of SOPs now, especially in past 2-3 years. They have seen Africa and they are working as undercurrent. So if you find out from the Ministry of External Affairs and what exactly foreign affairs, just find out that what SOPs they are giving for African countries. Yeah. So power has a lot of scope. Telecom has a lot of scope. Already Airtel is there in 15 countries. Then you had Sterlite Copper, that Agarwal. So Anil Agarwal. So he had operations in Zambia, is a copper belt. So people and in Gabon is new entrant. If you see the government policy has come, you can take the wood from here. You can cut the trees, take the wood. So it is whole jungle actually. Now government is saying that you can cut the wood and take the wood from here. There is sandalwood as well, this wood as well. So obviously with the duty and the transfer of funds plays a very important role. Sometimes from Singapore, sometimes it is routed through Hong Kong and Japan and Mauritius. So these are not to avoid the double taxation thing. So Mauritius is earlier it was, now it has shifted to Singapore. So all the funds have been routed to Singapore, and sometimes the money used as hawala money because they don't have dollars to pay you. If you export something to there, they don't give you dollars. They say, okay, take in local currency. So then the problem is then you have to actually arrange money through these banks, through some other channel, which may not be legal enough. Some diaspora money. Diaspora is something where the people, expats who are living in other country, who are paid in dollars, they give their dollars to somebody in that country. They collect the dollars from such kind of people, and in their home they give them the local currency kind of. So that is somewhat linked to hawala, so which we don't really try. But yes, these are things which are prevalent over there. But
Chiki, if I can just add, actually, I think I agree that with Vishal that a lot of its power people manage through the DG sets, which is very prevalent. B, I think on the utility side, Chinese are investing heavily. They're actually buying a lot of utilities. They recently bought, Zambia, so many countries actually utilities they've invested. And C, in terms of the utilities operation itself, which is what your business probably needs, is a lot of the governments are now in the process of privatizing these utilities. Like for example, Nigeria, if you take the model, actually, one, they're all trying to follow the process, what they went through, privatization, maybe 10 years behind. So there is an opportunity when it comes to the, especially microgrids and some of this, efficiency improvements, especially because they're trying to, obviously, while trying to continue to provide the power, there is huge theft and losses there. So it's almost like, in terms of simple terms, you can take India grid minus 15 years. So that's where they are. So there are some good opportunities there, especially when they're trying to privatize, because it's hard to deal with governments because there's huge corruption there.
Right.
So only those places where they're trying to privatize, I think there are some good opportunities.
Yes.
No, even beyond that, Vishal, there have been projects which we have been evaluating, and let's try and reconnect maybe post this conversation, because there are some interesting thoughts around that based on some of the prior experiences. So I'm sure you can add a lot of value. So
yes, sure.
Hey Vishal, this is Anant.
Yeah, Anant.
So Vishal, brilliantly done, man. Very, very well done. Love the energy.
Thank you so much.
Question is in part of the masterclass thought process one is to learn from each one of us on what we're doing. But the second more important thing is how can we all be more than the sum of our parts? So given your experience in Africa, how can few people who are interested work with you and we do something together there, or whatever ideas you have, like importing or whatever, how can we do more and scale our success together?
Right, Anand. And yes, I agree with you that obviously with a lot of with this kind of time which we are spending, and there has to be value which should be generated in terms of commercial as well. And if there is an opportunity, why not? And when we are talking about so much, then collectively we should actually harness each other's strength to get India's foothold stronger.
Right.
Yes, I mean, if so, because the thing is, when I travel so much, so I have a lot of contacts, a lot of relationship, a lot of cultural know-how of that country. Sometimes politicians as well, because Bajaj is a big player and one of the highest exporter from India to different countries. So we enjoy that kind of a liberty to meeting people over there. So if at all, as I mentioned, that service industry, there's a lot of scope, and if somebody wants to do some business, so possibly, yes, there are a lot of opportunities which are lying, as I told, our Indian conglomerates are there, then Chinese people leave a lot of loopholes. So do reach out to me and say your specific need, or possibly talk that I want to start a business in Africa. How should I go about it? I have this much amount of money. So I can help possibly in guiding the right channels actually to go about it, and possibly help in some contacts to get the things done. Yeah, because the know-how of logistics, know-how, you may not be knowing that how to route that money from which place and how to be cheaper. Sometimes people do all the research, everything they do, but basic things, if one loophole is left around, your whole money is drained. Or if there is some catch, your goods may not be allowed to unload at that port, and it will be lying there. If it's perishable, it's gone. So yes, you can reach out to me on these things. So whatever input I can give, possibly if you talk about establishing something, sugar industry, like you have, just Jai Mehta and that actress.
Preeti Zinta.
No, that the old one, Hamerai, that Hamerai, that
Juhi Chawla, Jai Mehta's wife, Juhi Chawla.
Juhi Chawla has her husband has a lot of factories, sugar factories in Uganda, and like I told, a lot of Cameroon guy has a lot of factories, a lot of businesses. So we can reach out actually to those people and have a joint call with those people, so that your expertise can be utilized. Whatever you have, whatever they require, as I told, on a broad basis, that system efficiency is what they are looking for. Africa is looking for. If you have system efficiency, making system better in any way, whether it is receiving the money, whether it is computerization, whether it is some kind of automation, ticketing. So those things, those people look at. Money you have and everything, it will be advanced money. There should not be a problem. Provided you don't go out the boundary of risk. So these are very, very good opportunities there. And directly, if I said about cashew, today also, if you order cashew and you find it that it's a genuine quality, because those are bigger cashews you don't find in India, you can make big money actually today itself. So it is about plunging into that market and understanding. I've given you broad understanding. Go ahead and do it. Just come to me and we can talk about it anytime. Right?
Great stuff, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, I mean, any more questions? You can ask any question, whatever you feel like. If I have that visibility of quantify it or no, so I'll try to answer that, please.
Thank you.
Great stories, Vishal.
Yeah, hi Vishal. I'm here in Panchayat.
Yes, Pankal.
Nice to see you after a long, long time. You look same as, except that mustache.
No, that was, you might have seen me first year. First year I removed my mustache.
Correct, correct. Just to benefit of the people of our group, that you say rightly say that cashew nut business. If I remember, one of the engineers where I recruited.